Okay, so you sent over these articles about the U.S. maybe sending Ukraine long-range missiles.
Yeah.
And, wow, there's a lot to unpack here, right?
Right.
Russia's not happy, the EU seems a little divided, and the whole situation feels like it could go in a lot of different directions.
Yeah, it's definitely a tense moment for sure.
It is. So for everyone listening, we're diving deep into these articles today, not to like predict the future or
Oh,
anything,
right.
but more to really understand what's at stake here. What are the possible consequences of this decision?
Yeah.
Who are the key players? And how could all of this shape the conflict moving forward?
Yeah, I think that's a smart approach because there's so much we still don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to start, let's talk about Russia's reaction. Maria Zakharova, their foreign ministry spokesperson, she came out pretty strong, right?
Yeah.
Saying they'd react appropriately if Ukraine used these missiles to hit targets inside Russia.
Hmm.
And she even hinted at it being direct U.S. involvement, calling it a radical change in the whole conflict. So help me out here. What does react appropriately even mean in this context?
Honestly, it's kind of vague on purpose, you know? It's like Russians trying to keep everyone guessing, maintain that element of surprise, you know?
Yeah, it keeps everyone on edge.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
But if we look at their options, I mean, one possibility is they intensify those cyber attacks on Ukraine, you know? Disrupt their communications, mess with their logistics.
Makes sense.
Another possibility is they target those supply lines, try to cut off the weapons and aid flowing into Ukraine.
Okay, that already sounds pretty serious.
Yeah.
Are there any other scenarios, like even worst-case ones, that we should be thinking about?
Some analysts think Russia might try to flex its muscles a bit more, you know?
Oh.
Maybe in those neighboring NATO countries.
Oh,
Like, we could see more military exercises right near their borders, maybe even some air incursions or even cyber attacks targeting their infrastructure.
oh, wow.
And the goal there, to intimidate NATO, basically, tell them to back off from supporting Ukraine.
Hmm.
But the risky part is that it also increases the chances of a direct confrontation, which, you know, nobody wants.
Yeah. No, that's a scary thought.
Yeah.
And it's not just about what happens in Ukraine, right? This decision could really ripple outwards, affecting the whole region and even the entire world.
Yeah, definitely.
And what's interesting, too, is how the U.S. is handling all this information.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've got U.S. media saying Biden's given the green light on these missiles, but the White House hasn't officially confirmed anything.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you make of that? Is it intentional? And what does it tell us about how the U.S. is approaching this whole situation?
It's definitely interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe they're testing the waters, you know, seeing how everyone reacts before they fully commit.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Maybe they don't want to escalate things too quickly, or maybe there's some behind-the-scenes diplomacy happening.
Right, right.
But you also have to see this in the context of all the support the U.S. has already given Ukraine, right?
That's true. We've seen them gradually increase the types of weapons they're sending over. So is this a continuation of that trend, or is this a major shift in U.S. policy? And what message does it send to everyone involved? Russia, Ukraine, the whole global community?
I think it's definitely a step further than what we've seen before.
Okay.
It shows that the U.S. is serious about backing Ukraine, but it also comes with that higher risk of things escalating, you know?
Yeah.
It reassures Ukraine that they're not alone, but Russia might see it as a direct challenge, which could make it even harder to find a peaceful solution.
Right.
And the whole world is watching this unfold because this decision could set a precedent for future conflicts, you know?
Yeah.
And it could really impact the balance of power in the whole region.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And speaking of the world watching, this whole thing has sparked a lot of debate within the EU, right? We've got Josep Borrell, their foreign policy chief. He's all for it, encouraging other EU countries to jump on board. But then you've got Chancellor Scholz from Germany. He's hesitant about sending similar missiles. And then President Macron from France, he's backing the U.S. decision. It's a mixed bag.
It is.
So why are there these differences of opinion? What's behind these contrasting viewpoints within the EU?
I think it really highlights how complicated EU decision-making can be.
Yeah.
Every country has its own priorities, its own concerns.
Right.
Like, Germany has those strong economic ties to Russia, especially when it comes to energy.
Right.
So, of course, they're going to be cautious about escalating things.
Makes sense.
And then other countries, they might have different military capabilities, or they might see the risks differently.
Yeah.
And don't forget public opinion within each country, too.
Oh, that's true.
Leaders have to think about how their decisions will play back home.
Yeah, for sure. So it doesn't sound like the EU is going to be on the same page about this anytime soon.
Probably not, no.
So to sum it all up, we've got Russia issuing these strong warnings. The U.S. playing this kind of information game, and the EU struggling to come to a consensus. It's messy.
Yeah.
And it's a situation that could have really big consequences.
Absolutely. And as you keep following this story, I want you to imagine you're advising the U.S. government right now.
Okay.
How would you balance the potential good of sending these missiles with the risk of making the conflict worse? What factors would you consider most important in making that call? It's not about having all the answers.
Yeah.
It's about asking the right questions so you can analyze the information you see and form your own informed opinion.
I like that. That's a good takeaway for everyone listening.
Yeah.
Thanks for breaking it all down for us.
Of course. Happy to do it.
To everyone listening, thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Absolutely. Until next time.
See ya.